Hello everyone, my name is Peng Yu, and today I will present my research project, the social media and people with disabilities, from Malaysian to global contact. And this study builds on my earlier Sm347 work, where I first explored how social media impacts people with disabilities. Let's start. And this is our table of contact. First is introduction. So people with disabilities often face barriers such as social exclusion and mobility challenges and negative stereotypes. However, social media has opened new space where they can learn, express themselves, and contact with others. My field work focuses on the kindly orphan and handicap welfare home in Malaysia, where I conducted interviews and observation to understand how residents engage with platforms like TikTok and YouTube. And first is the research objectives. So the key research objectives of my research were several. First, to explore how social media improves mental health and confidence and self-esteem. Second, to evaluate whether platforms and exclusive are accessible to people with disabilities. And third, to investigate whether the social media can help them reduce discrimination and increase public awareness of disabled issues. And this is the research question. So my research question focuses on the 5 aspects. How do middle-aged and elderly disabled people enrich themselves through the social media? What role does it play in their daily interactions? How do they can cope with challenges like information overload? And do platforms provide accessibility filters that meet their needs? So, and finally, do content preferences on these platforms and align with their psychological and moral expressions? So this is the methodology. So to address these questions, I used a qualitative design. I interviewed both director and residents of their well home. So by also observing how they use the social media, I built trust through information and conversation. So and encourage storytelling to capture interactive experience. And the data was then analyzed thematically by identifying recursion patterns, keywords, and respective quotes, and compare them to existing literature. So this is the finding and analyze. So we have the first is positive impact. So the finding reveal many positive impacts. For example, one young man performed a piano and he taught them himself entirely through the YouTube tutorials, showing how social media empowers learning, and residents also reported improved mental health and self-worth. So while features such as caption, emojis made platforms more accessible, most importantly, social media created bridges to the outside world and reducing isolation. And and the other part is challenges. So at the same time, challenges remain. Many residents are passive consumers rather than active creators of content. So their access to technology is often met solely by caregivers, limiting their independence. And mainstream platforms are designed for general users, not specifically for people with disabilities. And finally, risks such as information and emotion sensitivity make online engagement and more complex for this group. And this is our international comparison. So to add a global perspective, I compared my finding with 2 international cases. In Canada, Life Work Play empowers people with disabilities to become content creators and advocates actively shaping their online presence. In the UK, Scopes Accessible Social provide clear guidelines for inclusive content, such as using a captions, alt text, and avoiding stereotypes. So, compared with Malaysia, which is close in emotion care but lacks structured digital improvements. So these international examples highlight the importance of the shifting from a pluralistic model to one that promotes adjacency and accessibility. And this is our the elimination and future research. So this study has also had elimination. It focuses on the welfare home too, so finding cannot be generalized, and it mainly represents middle-aged and elderly residents, missing younger the voice. Yeah. And it is qualitative. Without qualitative data like usage frequency, and future research should expand to multiple institutions. And we also adopt mixed methods and include international comparisons to strengthen their understanding. So finally is the conclusion. So to the conclusion, this study shows that people with disabilities are not just passive recipients of care, but active participants in digital culture. Social media can enhance their mental health, identify, and social ingression. By learning more from international best practice, Malaysia could from move towards gender exclusion by training residents as digital storytellers and optimum structures and accessibility standards. Ultimately, the goal is a fair, so more exclusive art and responsible digital environment that values disabled voice. So, thank you, ma'am, and thank you for listening. I'm happier to take my any questions. Thank you.